We're in Helen, Georgia, which is a Bavarian village in the northern Georgia mountains. This Alpine-style town is a popular detour between Atlanta and Charlotte. But hidden away just a half hour from here is another detour, one of the coolest folk art installations you'll ever see. I'm talking about world famous SamG Land. As you may have guessed, we were passing between Atlanta and Charlotte as we followed Dead & Company across the country on a crisscrossing journey to 8 shows this summer. Helen is about halfway between the two major cities, a beautiful mountain village where tubers float down the river and visitors can enjoy a stein of lager surrounded by festive German theming. It was an adventure from the very start when we drove into the Georgia mountains,
oh boy,
bounding through winding forest passes towards Helen, then channeling my inner Beatrix Kiddo at the Black Forest Bed and Breakfast, where our cozy alpine cabin was all the way at the top of these steps up the hillside. Brian could have helped, but he chose to just film me instead. The climb was worth it though. Our ski lodge room was a one-of-a-kind, quirky retreat.
Okay, I've got the coordinates here.
Anyway, just a quick detour from all of that is Clarksville, Georgia, where hidden in a thicket of trees is world famous SamG Land. And it really is hidden, to the point that some people have trouble finding it.
You know it's a real detour when the road you're taking isn't even on Google Maps.
So if you're making the detour, here's the scoop. What you're going to actually want to look for is a Chevron station. It's at 1384 Tomborn Road in Clarksville, right between Highway 441 and Old Historic 441. It looks like this. So you get to the Chevron. Now what?
Okay, so when you get to the Chevron, you're gonna be thinking there's no way this is it, but it is. Make a right and drive right up this ramp here.
Once over the ramp, follow the dirt path into the forest, and pretty quickly, you'll know that you're in the right place. Because that art-straddled path opens up into something downright magical. This is world famous SamG Land. When you first pull in, it will all seem a bit overwhelming. What's that giant Coke bottle up there? And why is it painted like a soccer ball? Why are there so many washing machines? And why are they all staring at me? And just how many time paradoxes are sprinkled around here? Suffice to say, you want to give yourself a lot of time to explore here because there is a lot to see. But thankfully, when you pull in, you'll more than likely be greeted by Sam himself, who will help guide you through it all. And a great place to start is at the world's largest grit.
Yeah, I just put a fresh coat of paint on it 2 days ago.
The world's largest grit kind of sets the tone for everything. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
World's largest grit. It was inspired by controversy over the nearby Stone Mountain Confederate Monument and the $16 million of government funds used to maintain it. Sam proposed an idea to the government to solve the controversy.
So I wrote the mayor of Atlanta and I told him that for $16.5 million, I could solve their problem of what to do with Stone Mountain, and I would turn it into the world's largest grit. I never heard back from him. It's still, as far as I know, the largest one in the world, but it's Mama Cat. Say, hey, Mama Cat.
It was around this time, too, that friendly resident cat, Mama Cat, also joined us on our tour. But so the grit, like a lot of the art here, is a riff on something else in the public sphere or popular culture. For instance, there's also this jab at the immersive art installations that have also been popping up in major cities recently.
But I said, I want to have an immersive art experience here at SamG Land. Here you can immerse yourself as deep as you want to.
And his own low-budget spin on the panning for gold attractions that we can confirm are all over the roadsides of northern Georgia.
And it's kind of an unwritten rule, if you have a tourist attraction in northeast Georgia, you have to offer gold panning.
But let's back up for a second. Because as much as this attraction is about the art, it's also about Sam himself and the tremendously unique artistic voice he employs when creating all this stuff. You may be shocked to learn that for the first half of his life, he wasn't an artist at all.
November 2007, my ex-wife was fussing at me. I got laid off from my job and I couldn't find a job anywhere. So I took this online career quiz that told me that I should be an artist. So as a joke, I bought some paints and and just started painting and discovered this whole world that I never knew existed when I was 37 years old.
No way.
And I'm 52 now, and I hadn't stopped yet.
Wow. When you first arrive at World Famous SamG Land, you'll likely find Sam hard at work inside the Mothership, his art studio, where you'll quickly realize that Sam is a terrific artist as you walk through the gallery of Sam's paintings. This is where you can also buy some of Sam's work to take home with you. Our favorite one was born out of a misunderstanding between Sam and a reporter. Sam was relating a story to them about a time when some Hare Krishnas came to visit. The reporter misheard this as Hare Christians, and somehow that made it all the way through the editorial process. And thus, this beauty was born. We still can't stop laughing about this. Also, this is where Sam keeps his ass hat.
Wear one, don't be one.
And that late discovery of his passion meant that there was a lot of pent-up artistic energy waiting to be unleashed, with new zany creations surrounding his home in greater and greater numbers as his new artistic trajectory sped forward.
And I said, really fancy houses have statues on them. So if you look at the front of our house, we fancy the place up some. I don't want people to think we're average poor folks.
Sam sent us some old photos of the early days. You can see a lot has changed. Here's an old storage area he tore down to install the mothership. And here's the long-lost Gnomehenge attraction. In any case, comparing the then and now images really emphasizes how much of a labor of love this whole thing has been. In some ways, it's an escape for Sam.
I kind of don't like the real world, so I kind of make my own.
But in another sense, it's a way to spread his own message of peace and love to outsiders.
People ask me all the time, what is SamG Land? I tell them it's 3 acres of peace, love, and bullshit.
And we actually do want to stop ourselves here with regard to deciphering or trying to quantify Sam and his artwork in an academic sense.
A lot of places list it as an art museum, like on Google and different. So I said, if you're gonna have an art museum, you have to represent different kinds of art.
Yeah.
So we brought in this fancy Roman statue. She learned how to weld right now too.
He told us there's been no shortage of critics over the years, and to them, he offers pieces like this.
I'm gonna give everybody out there an opportunity that wants to, they can come kiss my ass.
He made it clear to us a number of times on the tour that we shouldn't think too hard about any of this. But there is one small detail he did clear up for us regarding the World Famous moniker attached to SamG Land.
Before anybody knew who I saw a thing about Andy Warhol. Before anybody knew who he was, he would go out to eat. He would send his friends in to make a big deal about him coming. So when he get there, nobody knew who he was, but he must be somebody. So I started doing that. I just started telling them I was World Famous SamG. I got the idea of Warhol. And now people, that's how I'm introduced.
So we're not going to show you everything here at SamG Land because you truly have to experience the magic here for yourself. But we did ask Sam to show us a few of his favorite pieces.
That's my old dryer. That's the first big robot I made. Did that in memory of my friend Billy Fred Helen's.
What made you think of him?
He was an artist. A lot of what he made was he called them folk bots, little small robots. Well, some of them got pretty good size. But I started on it the day, on Valentine's Day was the day he passed away, and in tribute to him.
And as you walk through SamG Land, you'll see that Billy's legacy of folk bots lives on in a beautiful way here. Dozens of friendly folk bots play around the property, many of them made from washing machines.
Yeah, that's my friend Joy, that's her washer and dryer. She had given the washing machine to one friend and the dryer to another. When they both tore up, they both brought them over to me, so.
They reunited.
Mm-hmm.
And next to these folk bots is one of Sam's most famous pieces.
This right here is a fully working operational time machine.
A tall claim that seems to defy the laws of the universe. But get this, it really works.
You get in there and you sit for a while. The longer you sit in there, the further into the future you go. It works. And that's all controlled there by Murtis the time goose.
It's not every day you stumble across a goose-controlled time machine. So of course I had to give it a try to experience time travel for myself. And you bet your britches it works. Back in the shade of the woods, with Mama Cat walking through sunny spots nearby, it was also quite meditative. Oh, it is so peaceful here. Don't forget to say hello to Murtis the Time Goose's cousin Harold while you're time traveling too. Time is a common subject across a lot of Sam's art. Up in the woods, there's another time-bending demonstration.
We saw the time machine. We have another time anomaly. And if you come up here and look through here, it's to the window to the future. And if you look through it the other way that he's looking for, there's a sign that says you were here. So you can both see the future and the past through the same old dryer door.
We asked Sam why time was such a common theme in his work. His answer was simple.
We all got to deal with it.
And Sam should know, time, specifically not having enough of it, is something he unfortunately knows about all too well.
March 13th of 2017, I decided I was going to go up to the house, drink a cup of coffee, smoke the last cigarette that I ever smoked, and sit on the toilet. I'd finished my business and I was about to start the paperwork. I heard something go pop, and I went blind. And it was my aorta had ruptured right where it comes out of your heart. And I should have fell over dead, but through some miracle, I got to still be here. And that's the toilet I was sitting on when my aorta ruptured.
You can see it on your hike up through the SamG Land nature trail. And that near-death experience put a lot of things into perspective for him.
I just enjoy every day, and my goal is to have fun and try to make many other people happy as I can.
Again, far be it from us to academically analyze Sam's art, because we know that's the last thing he would want. But we do like to think that Marcel Duchamp would be pleased with his use of this toilet. Now, we've mentioned this nature trail a few times, and it definitely seems like one of the attractions Sam is most proud of. It's a secluded walk through the forest where signs point out historically significant points of interest and other important indicators regarding what you're seeing in the woods. And as you go deeper and deeper, if you squint, you'll start to see faces revealed to you through the foliage as the woods come alive with Sam's signature whimsy.
This used to be like a tornado. I'd spin it around and go, woo, and then you go flying through the universe, and you go, ah, until you get right here in the middle of Wizard of Oz land. There's the Tin Man and the Lion, and the Scarecrow, Toto, and the little naked Dorothy over there.
Sam told us the whole world is art supplies, and his recycled items are infused with clever and comical new meaning, like at the coffee cup graveyard.
Every thrift store has like roughly 4.2 million coffee mugs. It's like purgatory for coffee cups. So I started like rescuing them and bringing them out here and giving them a final resting place. And then sometimes people will steal them as souvenirs. Then it becomes a coffee cup resurrection.
Another can't miss attraction back in the woods is the shitty corn maze.
Do you need a map?
Just make sure you don't get too lost if I go this way, then have to call for help.
You did it, yay!
Woo! And then at the end of the trail sits perhaps our favorite collection of artwork, the Love Garden.
There used to be this art dealer that would come out here. He had some issues. He said, coming out here, I feel like I'm surrounded by love. So I got, it'd be a good thing to make a place where you could be surrounded by love.
And thus, the Love Garden was born.
As soon as I find something that I can paint on, I'll make a love sign.
The concept is uncomplicated. It's a peaceful clearing where hand-painted signs of love completely surround you. Over the ramp, down the dirt road, through the nature trail, all the way up to this clearing, completely removed from all the troubles of the outside world, it's here where you can find peace in every direction you look.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite thing out here. If you stay for a while, you can really feel it.
And what Sam hopes everyone feels when they step inside here?
I just want them to feel loved and feel accepted for whatever they are.
He just started working on the Love Garden, and like any garden, it's going to continue to grow. And there's something poignant about things that would otherwise be thought worthless being turned into impassioned messages of love.
That's the top off an old grill, trash can lid. These are parts from inside of a dryer.
World Famous SamG Land is in a constant state of growth and flux. But unlike a lot of roadside attractions that have lived on long past their creators.
Once I'm dead and gone, I want it to be torn down. And I tell everybody, this is a temporary exhibit. If you think you want to come, you better come now.
Which is a surprising sentiment at first, but makes more sense after you spend some time with Sam. Because you realize there is no World Famous SamG Land without SamG.
I made him during the great toilet paper shortage of 2020.
He's the heart that beats the love all across this simultaneously hysterical and inspiring plot of Georgia land. While Ryan was out shooting B-roll footage, I got to spend a lot of time talking with him one-on-one, and I really got a sense of how Sam, and only Sam, could have pulled all this off. Because of the things he's been through, the choices he's made, and the people he's known. All stories that are probably best left told by him. All summed up, though, by one woman who approached him in an art show and called him a walking paradox, a description he heartily accepts. And that's expressed all across World Famous SamG Land. For instance, statements about the nature of art stand beside...
That's Gladys, the gnome destroyer.
The gnome destroyer, oh no! And gleefully vulgar creations that came to him in dreams.
And I would just get these visions. They would hit me like bam,
Mingle with heartfelt projections of love and acceptance. Of all the Americans who ever aspired to create roadside art, there's perhaps never been a more capable vessel of peace, love, and bullshit than Sam.
I tell everybody, the biggest things you can do with somebody is make them smile.
What, are there any messages that you want people to get when they come here?
Love.
A simple message, but an important one. and one you'll get one last dose of on the way out if you want to cash in on a free hug from Sam. But after spending hours exploring SamG Land, it was finally time to hit the literal dusty trail out of the woods and back on the road to our next dead show. At World Famous SamG Land, he's done the legwork for you and created a world where you're literally surrounded by love. But Sam's just the messenger. You've got to take that love with you, too. On our 2-week trip, we saw a lot of fascinating stuff across 14 states and over 4,000 miles of driving. Thrilling cities, remote roadside attractions, and everything in between. But we took something with us from SamG Land, too. Literally, a physical reminder of that very simple but very essential message. Love one a damn nother. A sentiment to carry down the road on all of the quick detours of your own. And we'll, of course, see you on the next one.